All right. So we're gonna be talking about living independence in this one. Um, and so just kick us off. What happened? Why did we have to live independence?
God.
Ta-da! I thought we were living a good life, and God is like, time to wrap it up.
Next step. It's time.
Yeah.
So we found out that the owner of the camper that we were staying in is coming back a couple of weeks early. He's able to come back to the U.S. a couple of weeks early. So that's wonderful. And it means we didn't have time to get our ducks in a row, so to speak.
And we still didn't have enough money, which was really hard because I'm like, God, how comes you told us to be still and you told us to rest when I should have, if you remember from the last video, I was saying I felt like I had to clean up the mess that we were in.
No. Felt like we had to clean up the mess God had made.
Right? And so hearing the news that we were gonna have to leave way sooner than I thought, like immediately. I remember the day we got the news, like I could feel like a dark presence just coming, trying to weigh down on me, like a weight coming down on me. I could feel the anxiety coming in. And I remember feeling that hearing that familiar thing come up, I'm going to die here. Mm-hmm. And immediately I said, no, I know you. And I know that is a lie, right? I am not going to die here. We're going to be okay.
And that was a lot of growth because A, it didn't last long, and B, recognized it very quickly.
Yeah, it was just really thing like just realizing that thought.
It was an obvious attack. It wasn't like, oh, this is a behavior I'm still struggling with. It's like, no. Oh, this is obviously an attack.
No.
Okay. Cool, we know what to do with the text.
Hello, honey. I know you.
Yeah.
Bye. Here's the truth. And so it was. Immediately when I realized that, and I said that, the words that came up for me was, Lord, I am so grateful that you see it fit for us to leave now to access the blessings that you have for us coming up now.
Yeah.
Right? And then he told me to go watch a video, and we both watched the video that a friend of ours I sent out a couple hours earlier. Thank you, Jordy.
Thank you, Jordy. That was a great video.
Wonderful video.
On gratitude.
Yeah, we'll probably link that video somewhere so y'all can go watch it because I think it's a really great thing, and it touched on so many of the principles that God has taught us over the years. And so we ended up sitting down that day and writing our entire long-ass gratitude list of things that we're just incredibly grateful for.
Yeah.
And then we went into trying to prepare as best as possible for the week ahead, even though we didn't know asbestos.
You said asbestos.
You do that laugh every single time I say it. It was like, oh, I know what I just said, right? So I went into preparing where we didn't even know where we're going to be going yet, because I had this thought that kept coming up. I'm like, my God, is that me or XYZ? And so
that's one of the hard things is it's really nice when God tells both of us the same thing, and sometimes he tells one of us the next thing, and we're trusting each other and trusting him to speak clearly to our spouse, and trusting him to tell us our steps of obedience within that thing.
Or waiting for him to confirm through the other spouse that, hey, this is a step.
Yeah, and sometimes he does, and sometimes he does it sometimes he doesn't confirm, but he just gives a piece of obedience for it that ends up confirming in retrospect. Those are harder.
Yeah. So we had the news, I think, the Monday. And we needed to leave by the following Monday, so it was kind of like a week.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Friday came around, we still had no idea where we were going to go. We still didn't have the money to even get to wherever we wanted to go. I was doing the math in my head, like, okay, based on what we have in the bank account, maybe we can get a car and do what he had told us to do when we went to um, Grand Canyon, like
Yeah.
extend. I was running the math. I mean, we could probably sleep in the car. It would be all right.
And God told me no more what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for me that he told me at the time, but it's turned out to be for both of us, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times when we have been trying to play the game or trying to make a I don't know what you call it, a calculation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to stretch things, operating from scarcity, basically.
Yeah.
Some version of operating from scarcity and trying to do things in our own power.
Yeah.
And he told me no more what ifs. Stop creating hypotheticals of what could happen. If I'm telling you to do this, this is the thing that matters. It's based on what is going to happen, not what could happen. If I'm telling you to do this, or you're going here, or here's the next thing, just based on that. And you don't have to. We've talked before about the difference between the what and the how.
Mm-hmm.
Now you start asking about the how. You don't start trying to figure out the how. And there's plenty of things where I've tried to figure out, or I think I know what the steps
Or what
are.
God is gonna do, or
Yeah,
how
how is God going to do this?
or how it's gonna happen, etc. And it took me, I think it took me getting to that point of you saying to me. So if you remember, guys, in previous videos we talked about how God told us He was gonna run us out of money, or our credit cards are totally maxed out, and we did that out of obedience to the Lord. And so it took Jeremy saying
That's
to
hard
me,
even still to talk about
yeah,
right
it's
now.
kind of like, oh,
That's it's embarrassing because we've been taught all of our lives that that's bad stewardship.
yeah.
And it is if God's not telling you to do it. And like, how many of you will even believe us that God said that to us? I mean, I hope everybody, but I can't control that. And there's still that, I don't know, that fear of embarrassment, I guess, around judgment, or fear of judgment,
Mm-hmm.
like you talk about.
Yeah. And so it took Jeremy saying to me, "Hey, honey, the car deposit, if even we were supposed to rent a car, the car deposit would be way higher because we cannot use our credit card as some sort of like insurance or something. I don't even know exactly how that
Yeah,
works
the car insurance, we can only rent a car through a credit card because it provides car insurance.
Yeah. And so I remember hearing that and feeling like a roaring in my ears, like, oh my God, what we have is not going to work out. And that's when the Lord spoke to me and reminded me of something that He had told us in Jamaica. Um, when we had the car rental issues, the car canceled and everything. And the thing He had said is, Shaniel, stop looking at the closed doors. There is a specific door that I have opened for you, and
Look at that door.
look at that door. I have purpose for that. And so in this situation, it was realizing he is like, who told you that? I didn't tell you that you're all gonna get a rental car, right? That door is, if you can't see it, is absolutely closed. And so it became, all right, Lord, you're gonna have to tell us what the open door is. Help us to see that open door.
So I started calling around. He said call friends and ask someone to take us.
And he didn't have no. He didn't tell us that until like the Sunday. This is like the Sunday we have said goodbye to everybody. He had told us, confirmed finally, hey, you're going to Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, that was important. We needed to know where we were going.
We take the goodbye pictures, we give the hugs, we give the love. Persons would ask us, so where are you going? And we're like, we don't know because the Lord hasn't told us yet.
We found out that day.
Wichita. And when we found out that day, Wichita, the first thing that we did was went and we on Airbnb, and he pointed out a place for us to book.
She got the place to book, and I got the instructions around the car.
Yeah. And so it was really interesting because in booking this place, I delayed.
Oh, right.
And the reason I delayed was, I was waiting for God to confirm it with Germany, even though I knew,
Mm.
right? And by the time I went, the Lord said to me, I told you to book the place, go book it. By the time we booked, went back
The
to go
first
book,
3 or 4 days
the first three or
were
four days
already.
were already gone.
Yeah.
And so Jeremy was like, well, book for the rest of the duration that the Lord had told you. And it was like a struggle because I'm like, God, how can I be covering for the last couple of days when we don't even know where we'll be staying tomorrow night when we're leaving here tomorrow night?
Yeah.
And so I
But
eventually
it
booked.
was a case of we have clear instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've missed part of the instruction. Let's make sure to do the rest.
Yeah. And this touch on the concept that he has been showing us over and over again. There is a cost to disobedience. And it's not necessarily a financial cost. Sometimes it's a ease window
Yeah.
cost. Like,
And it's not a punishment either. It's not a penalty for disobedience. It's just costly. That's all. He
yeah.
has a best way for us. And his way to maturity, his way to his goal for us, which is the best goal that we could ever possibly be in or have,
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to make it any harder for us than it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it way harder on ourselves than it has to be. But it would be literal cruelty for him to do things in a more difficult way to accomplish his purpose in us.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cruelty to do it in a harder way than was possible. He knows all the possible ways. He has invented all the possible ways. So he's invented the easiest possible way for us to grow up and to be who he wants us to be and to live out who he wants us to be. And our fear is always, it's only ever always fear that keeps us from following him and not trusting him that this is the easiest way
Mm-hmm.
to do things. And so paradoxically, our desire for ease leads us to doing things the hard way.
Oh, that's good. Because what it looks illogical. God's way that He's telling us looks illogical and so forth. He's like,
Yeah.
if you would only just trust me, just do what I ask.
It doesn't
you
look
get
like the easiest
easy,
way, but it will be.
easy road. And
That doesn't mean it'll be easy.
Mhm.
Just easy, yes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are so many hard things that he's had us do. And whether it's, I mean, we haven't been flogged with 39 lashes 5 different times like
or
Paul
shipwrecked.
did, or shipwrecked, or lost at sea like Paul was. And we don't feel called to those things. And we're not saying that you should feel called to the things that we're called to. Your journey of growth and faith is going to look very different from ours, thank goodness. And so you wouldn't be able to grow and learn the way that we have done in our journey if you tried to duplicate it, because you don't need to learn and grow through the same things we need to learn and grow through.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
And so it has to look different. If you tried to duplicate our journey, you would be out of God's will.
Yeah, that's why you see you don't pattern our journey. Yeah. You do what the Lord tells you to do.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that
It's been hard for me.
a mentor of ours said a while back. Like, he's like a one-eyed man pointing everybody to Christ. And I love that analogy because I think the best advice I could give anybody is something that Mike Todd's father had given to us when we were in Tulsa when we went to that church. Is whatever the Lord says, do it.
Basic, right?
Right?
But that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I called about we need to speed up. I called about cars, and we need to go the speed God says to go.
I think we're going to stop
Okay.
right after
Okay.
we talk about the car, and then
Okay.
we'll pick up in the next video.
Okay. So I called, and the first person that I called, Laban.
Thank you, Laban.
Thank you, Laban.
Love you.
He immediately said, well, you've called the right place. He had the time. He wanted to help. Everything lined up. And so, we had our ride for tomorrow.
We had a ride, but we had no idea where in Wichita we'd be staying.
Yeah, for the first 4 days.
So we knew Laban was coming to pick us up by about 12, and so we finished packing our suitcases, we finished cleaning the camper and getting ready to leave, knowing that we were headed to Wichita without knowing where we would be staying that night. And so in the next video,
we'll talk about driving us to our doom.